Well, hello everyone, it's my pleasure to introduce you to John. And John is a multi-instrumentalist. He's coaching. He combines personal development with deep meditation and money consciousness. John first developed his facilitation skills during 20 years of formal Zen training. And he's helped dozens and dozens of people transform themselves by integrating deep meditative awareness in their daily lives and their relationships. And beginning in 2020, he trained with the Integral Coaching of Canada and was certified at the professional level. So, integral coaching combines integral theory with the best of developmental psychology. And with it, John's clients achieve the next level personal growth. John is also certified by number one budget app company called You Need a Budget, known by the acronym YNAB. And he helps people not only learn the app, but also clear their mind of negative beliefs and unhelpful habits around money. So, John, I'm really curious. Why did you become a YNAB budget coach?
Well, thank you, Lorraine. Because I had my own difficult time with money. Neither my parents nor schooling taught me a whole lot about money growing up, and I entered into adulthood and was just kind of swimming, trying to find my way and how to manage, etc. And I mean, long before personal computers or apps or anything were the mainstay of our domestic lives. I was just doing my best with the checkbooking ledger, et cetera, and writing things on paper. And uh, gradually that began, further into adulthood, that became quite a pain point for me. And particularly around surprise expenses, be they needing a root canal, right? Or a sudden car repair, or right, and not having money, or at least not sufficient money set aside for those unexpected things. And as well as not being able to do things like take trips I want to. I'm half French. I have family in France, would love to be visiting them more, right?
Mm.
And did my best by hook and crook using Microsoft Excel to do that. And it just never clicked. It never seemed to get me to a place. It certainly helped quite a lot, but never got me to a place of true awareness, true consciousness, true intention and purpose around what I'm doing with my money. And one winter I just hit a wall. I said, I can't do this anymore. And I had well, sorry, rewind. In about 2016, I tried using this app called YNAB. Apps had become a thing, smartphones had become a thing, and tried to figure out YNAB, and it was a little complicated and just couldn't quite get it to work, and so I gave up.
Ah.
Fast forward a few years, it's like, I'm gonna try it again. I really need to do something, and I really deserve to do something about, being good at managing my money in a precise and helpful way. And in that interim, a few people who'd become quite adept at using YNAB declared themselves as coaches. And so it's like, aha, well, I'll get help. Surprise, surprise, right? It's okay to ask for help, and we don't have to figure out everything ourselves. And so I worked with a coach for pretty intensively for about 2 months, and then intermittently for another month or so. And then even to this day, every now and then I bump up against something and I reach out for her help. And I discovered two things. Discovered multiple things. I learned how to use the app really well and just took off with it. And and the level of peace of mind and confidence that that has brought me, and I'll speak a little bit to that in a moment. Um, but I also discovered the importance of, I think what the digital world has done to us is made us think too autonomously. And we
Ah.
forget that we're relational beings and we learn best in relationship and interaction with others.
So what makes YNAB so helpful, given
A
what you
couple
do?
of things. So the backstory with YNAB, it was literally created by a couple at their kitchen table trying to figure out how they were going to make ends meet raising children, owning a home, starting businesses, those kinds of things, right? So it came from very real world, real life need, right?
Mhm.
Not just a clever technological thing to sell, right? And they had no intention of selling. They were just doing that for themselves in Microsoft Excel. And they started sharing their spreadsheet and all its formulas with their friends, and their friends were like, this is amazing. You could probably sell this. And so the company YNAB was born by selling an Excel spreadsheet for $5.
You need a budget, and don't we
You need a
all?
budget. And it took off. And then smartphones were developed, and they realized, hey, we can turn this into something. I mean, it's not just smartphone based. It's right, it's a web platform as well as a phone app. Um, and they're somewhat different. And I'll plug right now that the web platform is much better to use as a home base and save the app for out in the world. Um, like when you go to a restaurant, enter that meal into your budget. But the things that make YNAB super helpful, they have what they call four rules. I would call them four guidelines or compasses. And the first one is give every dollar a job.
Oh,
And I like to shift that to give every dollar a purpose. Because the purpose, the word purpose has a more felt mission, fulfilling energy to it than just job, because it's not just
yeah,
accomplishing a task. It's fulfilling a need, it's fulfilling a goal, it's fulfilling financial stability and security, right? It's fulfilling confidence. And so the main reason people don't have the financial stability, and this can be people with making the households making $400,000 a year. It's not just about not earning enough, right? It's about our
right.
mindsets around money and how much are we paying attention to what we're doing with our money, and is that serving purpose that's aligned with who we truly are,
Yeah,
right?
because you can be broke at, 50,000 a year, and you can be broke at 1 million a year. And you're still
Exactly. Right. So YNAB, right? If you give every dollar a purpose, so you create what they call groups, and your group might be home expenses and car expenses, things of that nature. And then within groups, you have categories, right? So under home, you could have groceries and electric bill and so on and so on. And
right.
that can be entirely customized. Another beauty about YNAB is obviously, it has structure that you have to understand and use, but ultimately you get to design it for how your mind thinks about and relates to money.
That's awesome because some of the
Yeah,
other budgeting software out there imposes a structure, and then
exactly.
you try and
Yeah,
work within it.
right.
Yeah.
It's so YNAB is like a car, but you get to decide where you're driving, right?
Cool.
You want the car to have structure, you want those wheels to be aligned and stay on, right? But you get to decide where you're going. Uh, so one way people leak a lot of money is by not giving every dollar a purpose. And they'll look at their checking account. Oh, I've got enough to go out and eat. Oh, I've got enough to do this. I've got enough to do that, buy this, buy that, buy that. And if you actually slow down and take a look at all those things, it can add up to hundreds or thousands of dollars every year.
Yeah.
Now, on one hand, there's no intention of restricting joy and fun. Absolutely, go out and have that spontaneous dinner, but have that item in your budget or be able to pull it from another category to take care of it, right?
Yeah, as opposed to the worry afterwards, like that was a delicious meal and now I have indigestion because I don't know how I'm paying
You're
for
going to pay
it.
for it. Exactly. So,
Yeah.
back to my own felt experience, the amount of relief and peace of mind I got from giving every dollar a purpose in my budget is extraordinary. And it's an everyday feeling, right?
And is it true that when you give your money a purpose, it therefore, if you have a purpose for it, you attract that money to you? That seems to make sense to me.
Absolutely. That's a very deep rabbit hole. But what I'll say is, right, it doesn't take a whole lot of exploration to understand that wherever we do not bring intention in our lives, we do not get what we want.
Yeah.
And
So
wherever
this,
we do bring intention, we are more likely to get what we want, right? It's not kind of a leads to B automatically thing, right? But The more focus and the more intention, the better the results, again, that are aligned with ourselves. And the second piece of YNAB that makes it so enormously powerful is one of their slogans, and it's YNAB was designed to help you align your money with your values. When I
Oh,
first heard that, my whole body said yes, right? And I haven't used any other budgeting app because I haven't needed to. I have no interest in trying them because none of them are speaking to that, right? And my invitation to the listeners, right, after watching this interview is to sit down and actually write out pen and paper. What are your
oh,
values that you want your money aligned to, right? How many of us have ever explored that?
yeah. Well,
Like, and again, back
I,
to intention. What are my values and how do I align my money with that? So they're
this
in harmony. And
begins to
school doesn't
explain,
teach us that,
yeah,
right?
this begins to explain to me why people should work with you and why not they just can't learn the app on their own. I mean, most people can learn an app, but this certainly speaks to why people should work to you. And I'd love to hear more about why people should work with you.
Thank you. That's a good question. So, in my perception, again, having grown up without much digital technology and entered into the world where it's now essentially all consuming, uh, well, by nature, humans want to be problem solvers. We want to fix and then move on. And increasingly with the digital world, we want that fix to be instant and easy. And life ain't like that. Right? We certainly, we have life far more easier than even 50 years ago, and no less 100, right? And we forget that, uh, or don't have reference to it. But ultimately, anybody can learn an app. Most anybody can learn any app, right? And put it to use. And that's well and good. But that's simply a technical and rational fix.
Mhm.
And again, learning things in relation with another human being, in conversation and dialogue, in reflection, in the other person helping you see things you aren't, cannot be replaced by an app, cannot be replaced by a computer, cannot be replaced by AI. Humans are humans, first, foremost, and last. So that's piece one of why work with a coach, why work with me. Uh, the further piece is again, okay, I've learned an app. I know how to, tap the buttons, type on the keypad and do the thing. But have I changed my relationship with money at all? Have I explored it at all? Have I broadened my perspective? Have I shifted my habits and actually integrated that into the fabric of my being so that I'm a new person in relationship to and behavior with money? And
Mhm.
that's the reason why I invite people to coach with me. It's not just to learn an app, right? You can go and there's plenty of tutorials. YNAB, the company, is extraordinary with providing uh, written and video learning materials, right? You can go do that, have at it. And if that works for you, great, right? You may not need a coach. Uh, my perception is at least 80% of people do, again, because of the relational element for better integration of the function of learning the app, but then also the relational element of being in relationship with yourself and your money
Yeah,
and in your
I'm reminded a
relationships,
little,
right? How
yeah,
many
I'm
how many
reminded a little
domestic
bit of that.
relationships experience stress around money?
Ah, yeah. I'm just reminded when you said that about if you always do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. And by working with you as a coach, the get what you've always got is going to change.
Exactly. Thank you for putting it that way, right? Because and an app can't replace that.
No.
Right. An app isn't going to change. It will influence your thinking and your behavior somewhat to a degree. But again, we are all raised by families and a society that give us a whole lot of inputs on what money is or isn't and what we should be doing with it and what is, worth, right? All these words, like have we ever actually unpacked them, right? So working with me, we can begin to unpack and discover those things and like, hey, am I truly being myself with my money, or am I being what my dad said or my mom said or TV said, right?
Or what I thought when I was 3.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah. So do you have a special offer for people watching this interview?
I do. So, for anyone who's new to YNAB, YNAB offers, like they do with all apps, a free trial period. And if you use my link, which will be in the information section below, you'll get an additional 2 free months. And so that trial period helps you get familiar with it. And if you're already a YNAB user or used to be a YNAB user and want to try again and you're just having struggles with it, having watched this, you contact me through this video and the link to my website below. Let me know you watched the video with Lorraine, and in purchasing 4 sessions with me, I'll give you a 5th session for free.
Wow, that's generous. They're already earning more.
Well, exactly. And it's on the note of earning, it's, in any area of life, if we want to improve, it takes investment, right?
Mhm,
And that's inevitable, right?
mhm.
People with college degrees, how much did you invest in your college degree? Or if you want to learn a new skill, right? You have to invest including in time and effort, right? And again, the app is not going to solve your life. Uh, One thing I love to sorry, draw attention to is look at the verbs that we use with the words time and attention. We spend time and we pay attention.
Mhm.
How interesting that we use money-oriented words for those two things. And really, at the end of the day, our lives are made up of how we spend time and what we pay attention to.
Awesome.
And
Well,
so
thank you.
another reason to work with me is to help
Yeah,
get that really, really, really clear for yourself.
yeah. Well, I can see so many benefits that, this has been awesome. And I really appreciate your time, your spending time and your attention, paying attention to this interview. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up the way that you do and being so ready and willing to help. That's just awesome. And there's so many people out there where money is just disappearing or flying away and they don't know where it goes. So give it a purpose, and John can help you create that purpose and navigate the YNAB app and to improve your life. So I encourage people to reach out to you. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Lorraine. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you today. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye bye.